Good afternoon and welcome. Yes, today's a snowy day out there, but ain't stopping me from doing my review of my Dress Up Darling episode 4. Now, you know, I ain't gonna lie. This episode hit me. It hit me. Gojo has become right now the best male character this winter. That's it. Gojo has just proved to us that he's worked his ass off so hard to be nominated for best boy this year. If there was a Crunchyroll Anime Awards, well, I know we're getting one, but he would have been nominated and he would have won. This episode showed us what Gojo went through and the work determination that he will do for Kitagawa. That says it all in this episode. So without further ado, I'm going to get right to it with episode 4 review of My Dress Up Darling. So, the deadline. So this episode was all about Gojo and the deadline that he has to work on, guys. And the deadline's in 2 weeks. This is where the miscommunication comes in play in this episode. So, he comes home. The bag fell as when we were shopping in Kitagawa. There were stockings, and then all of a sudden he fell and hurt his back. He was surprised to see what he bought. And then, he came out of the hospital and said his back hurts. So he's gonna be out for a while. But then I'm like, the stress that this guy has a lot. Let's look at this. Grandpa's in the hospital. Out of the hospital with back problems. Midterms. Yeah, you got exams. And you have to schedule an appointment for somebody to come in from France to see your Hina dolls. And you got to make the outfits. 4 activities that he has to do in the 2-week span that he has to do to finish the cosplay outfit for Kitagawa. And I felt bad for him. I really did. Because the deadline's in 2 weeks and everything's on the line. Everything's on the line, And with his grandpa, having back problems, him running the Hina doll shop, and him cosplaying and doing the exams is way too much on him. He needs to relax. Like, what I'm watching this episode, and I'm pretty sure everyone has been in this situation, where it's like, okay, I got so much stuff under my plate that there's a time and a place to reschedule. There's a time and a place to relax. There's a time and a place to say, okay, I gotta take it easy, one step at a time. One step at a time. And with this, it's right there. Like, it's legit there. And we get in, and that happens a lot. What we're seeing is what we ourselves experience in real life. And not just as cosplayers, but us as well in real life. Seeing how Gojo had to work so hard in 2 weeks to get this undone. But you gotta love the not giving up. You gotta love that vibe. You gotta love the MC willpower to finish the task when it matters the most. And you gotta love Gojo for. Actually, you gotta thank Gojo's grandpa, because he got a flashback of his grandpa showing how like he didn't give up. He made these dolls for the customers because he wants to see people happy. So with Gojo inspiration from his grandpa, he actually finished the task. Like, he finished the art of. But again, Gojo's worked his ass off in this episode. And I'm gonna keep saying it because, again, Gojo's determination, and for the love of Kitagawa, which is best couple, let's not front and say this is best. Let's not front and say they're not a couple. Best couple. He did it for the love of Kitagawa. He did it. In the 2 weeks that he did, he finally finished. And it breaks my heart to see Kitagawa crying. I'm pretty sure all y'all felt the same way. I'm pretty sure all that felt the same way in this. I'm pretty sure y'all guys have felt the pain. But Here's now I know that she's best waifu. I know that she's best waifu this winter. I'm not saying over the year yet because we're still waiting for other shows to come out. But let me just say this. Let's not front and say this. This is Kitagawa's fault as well. They're both at faults. They're both at faults here. Okay, let's look at the Kitagawa standpoint. For one thing, you told Gojo that the next one is in 2 weeks, but you didn't give him a deadline. You didn't say the date. You just said the next one is in 2 weeks, but you didn't give a date. You didn't say like, oh, out of random, just say May 28th or February 16th or something. You did not say anything. You just said 2 weeks, but you didn't give a date. Now, props for giving her phone, like props for giving contact, giving her contact information. But still, she didn't like go inside the house and check on Gojo. You know what I mean? There were moments that she could have, but she didn't. Okay. But it's kind of her fault somewhat because she didn't realize the situation even more with her grandpa. Like if she knew, like she already knew about her grandpa. I'm sorry. She already know about his grandpa. She could have just rescheduled it at a different day. You know what I mean? She could have just told him. I said her, my bad. She could have just told Gojo about like, oh, your grandpa's hurt? Okay, you don't have to make the outfit. We could just reschedule it. See, some parts are Kitagawa's, I said. Now, Gojo's also at faults. Gojo's also at faults because, don't get me wrong, Gojo worked his ass off. This was the entire episode. I'm screaming for joy for Gojo. He worked his ass off. But here's where I gotta is at his faults at best. He could have called Kitagawa. There were moments like the exams, the outfit, giving a person a tour of the Hina dolls. At some point in those timelines, he could have just said, Kitagawa, I can't do this. Can you wait about a week? I gotta get a tour going on. Then we have exams. I gotta take care of my grandpa. There are moments that he could have called Kitagawa and called her about, rescheduling at some time. So it's not about it's Gojo's fault or Kitagawa's fault. It's not about that. It's about the lack of communication. So it's how do I say this? They're both at faults. They're both at faults. They both made a mistake. And that one mistake they did was the lack of communication. That's all I'm trying to say. It's just the lack of communication. And, I like that scene where, Kitagawa crying, all that stuff. It was really emotional seeing her crying as well. And Gojo, you can see Gojo's shades, bags under his eye because he worked his ass off. There's moments like that he needs to go to sleep. He needs to go to sleep. That's like, again. But this gives us, but this also shows us how emotional how cosplayers are. Because you see how the work that cosplayers, not me, but you get to see how cosplayers work their ass off to schedule times and make the outfits before a certain deadline or meetups that they gotta do. But you see the struggles they doing with the stitching and the sewing and all that and the cutting, and that's what you see as the cosplayer designers, and that's what it is. Now again, I'm defending this show because, again, this show is not just about the fan service of Kitagawa changing. No. This is about how cosplayers like Gojo right now, he's stepping up as he is, showing the struggles, the pros and cons, and we see that as it goes. Now, yeah, we got a little bit of fan service, Kitagawa changing. I'm sure everybody made a gif or memes of her taking off her shirt because she's wearing black bras and black panties. I get all that. And then I like the transactions they're doing with him putting makeup on Kitagawa and putting a hairnet on her. But looking at that is kind of like, it's more like Gojo see Hina dressing up, like putting the makeup, is like a Hina doll to him. He sees Kitagawa as a Hina doll, when putting on makeup and eyebrows and whatnot. It's really nice. But at the end of the day, all says and done, we got to see Kitagawa and her outfit that she yearned for like 3 episodes, and it worked. She looked fantastic. She looked hella fantastic. You know, there's gonna be figures on her, but she looks fantastic. And you gotta think, and I say this again, with a big clap, you gotta thank Gojo. We all gotta thank Gojo for this. There's no question about it. No hesitation whatsoever. You gotta thank Gojo for working his ass off in this episode. That's all I'm trying to say. In fact, I'll say it right now. After watching this episode, he actually stepped up more than Kazuya from Rent a Girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to say it, but he has. He actually stepped up, and that's what I'm trying to say overall in this episode. But overall, what a great episode. Because this episode showed us how Gojo, again, I'm going to keep repeating it because it's so important. This episode is great because we get to see Gojo work his ass off in the entire episode. And it shows us how life is when you're working really, really hard trying to accomplish on this one objective, but then you got these other tasks that comes around. And the lesson of this episode is you got to learn, you got to learn to communicate. You got to learn to communicate with other people, to make schedules and plan things ahead. And if you have time, if you can't make time, there's always you could contact them to help you out with sewing and anything. But as long as you accomplish it, that's fine. But always plan ahead and always tell people you can't do this. So make plans. That's what I'm trying to say. Just make a plan that is perfect around your schedule so that you could sleep once in a while and not stress out. Just like it's like work. At work, you got this, and then you got to do this. Take time, build it up, stuff like that. That's all I'm trying to say. So again, this was a good episode, and again, Gojo has stepped up. And not only that, we're getting a dubbed. We're getting an English dub of My Dress Up Darling, so I can't wait to see how the dub is going to be. But like I said, great episode. Gojo, I'm very proud of you, and I'm sure every one of the My Dress Up Darling communities felt the same way. So I look forward for next week's episode of My Dress Up Darling, and let's see some other clothes that Gojo will make for Kitagawa. And let's see how Kitagawa looks in all those outfits. We're probably going to make a poll, which is which outfit looks better in Kitagawa, which I'm pretty sure everyone's going to feel the same way. We'll see how that works. So I look forward for next week's episode of My Dress Up Darling, and I'm sure you will.